or their integrity. Without raining on anybody's parade, I would like to suggest that what the alien abduction experience is that we are in such a state of crisis as a culture that a lot of people lose the ability to distinguish memory from dream. The state of peace progressed with. Well, that's an interesting question. I've thought about it. The near-death experience, as conveyed by the various books, Ken Ring's books and Moody's books, sounds a lot more pedestrian than DMT flashes. I mean, it's all about beckoning dearly departed ones. I've thought about DMT in terms of that, and I think it may be an ecology of souls, but it's not Aunt Minnie or Uncle Fred. It doesn't work like that. I don't know. The near-death experience, the alien abduction thing, I have more trouble with. I know some of the people at the center of that point of view, I guess you'd call them, and I haven't been terribly impressed with their integrity or their integrity. Without raining on anybody's parade, I would like to suggest that what the alien abduction experience is that we are in such a state of crisis as a culture that a lot of people are losing the ability to distinguish memory from dreaming. And that, in fact, it's very hard to distinguish memory from dream. We all deal with this on a trivial level. I mean, I'm sure you've had the experience of going to dinner with someone that you rarely see and saying to them, my goodness, it's been 8 years, it's been 10 years since we had dinner in this restaurant together. And them saying, hey, I've got news for you. We never had dinner together in this restaurant. Well, in a trivial case like that, you just say, that's funny. I must have dreamed it or something, because I have a very clear impression of this. But if it's an alien abduction, then it becomes much more problematic to know where to locate it. I am very resistant to, what you have to know about me is just because you're a nut, it doesn't mean that you're open to other nuts. I don't like the paranoid and menacing aura that surrounds the alien abduction thing. And as I say, the personalities in the UFO cults are squirrely without a doubt. I mean, these are not people that you would enjoy spending time with. I've seen UFOs, so I don't feel like I'm excluded from talking about it, but they always make it too simple. The witnesses.
Okay, sorry to steal you away from Terence McKenna, but sometimes I just have to show you what I'm doing. Because I mean, Terence is, bless him, he's gone. He did his thing. He introduced talking for hours to me. Now what I have to do is be free, be a creator, and do what I feel like I came here to be. Right. Okay, so this is mushrooms that I got from my neighbors. Just put a piece of butter in there. Just mushrooms with vegetables. I'm not sure what anymore. Coriander. This is what I did earlier. So I understand now why people thought I had to have my own apartment. And now this is batter. Don't mind the dark liquid. This is a mixture of... Okay, if I wouldn't add an egg to this, I think it would taste better. Because if it's just like this, it's going to be a little bit squishy, you know? See, I'm just going to hide. It's my last egg. It's very precious. Sometimes I just feel like I need something else than just... You see, I work very stringent. My motions are very directed towards the purpose I am serving at the moment. And at the moment I'm serving the purpose of creating content online so that my channel is up and ready for when other things may happen in my life, which I am unable to see at the moment. So whatever is happening to me in the future is nothing I could predict. I was having... Yeah, that's all there is to it, right? I'm not sure what's gonna happen, and that keeps me in a state of anxiety, and I have to do something, and that includes cooking. Because now I have not eaten for a while. Well, what's a while? Okay, I can make this a little bit more fluid. May be too fluid now. So what's the purpose of storing batter in the fridge before you will use it, and also adding the egg later, is because the ingredients, the flour, can soak up everything, which is why when you eat it, it's more like one mass of things rather than, you know, if you just mix it, it always takes a while to soak, and then the fermenting also starts. So this is part of slow food, right? Taking the time to stir things, to let it cook, right? So just make it fresh. I'm turning this into some kind of bread, which is strange. I haven't done this in a while to experiment. It's a strange concept for some kind of vegetable bread. To just see, or like a vegetable pancake, to try to get away from sugar a little. Right, so... Right, a veteran has to know how to make the most. And what, to me, basically, flour is also something cheap that gives me energy and that I can stretch out what I have available at the moment. Oh, that's interesting, of course. I'm just gonna bring that back to the fridge already. And this is also how to make fresh bread, fresh warm bread. Something that gives you sustenance, something that weighs a little. And enriches your experience, if you will. Well, that's what it is for me. Although I do feel reluctant to eat, to be honest. When I'm honest, I feel reluctant to eat. Because it also makes me heavy, and it makes certain choices a little bit more complicated. Right, so if you're high, when you're high, you feel certain about everything, but it also keeps you lose your footing in a way, which is why I can stabilize myself through food, which is of course the birth of the munchies. But if I know how to do so consciously, I can be a psychedelic voyager if I want to be, but I can also balance it, which is what I started to realize. Now it can char a little on the underside, maybe give it a nice crust, and this will be then the topping, as I just see. Interesting. I let this soak for some time. I'm starting to feel mayonnaise. Mayonnaise wants to be a part of this. This is going to be a feast. Maybe also ketchup. So you can really do some simple tricks to spice up a meal, right? Okay, this I'm gonna just keep like this. What is this? Tea. Yeah, sometimes I keep tea. What I wanted to make was kombucha. So yeah, I was just discussing on the podcast how to be with other women when you feel like you have your Shakti, your spiritual wife, you have it already. How am I supposed to be with other women then? I'm going to turn it down so that it doesn't burn it. Okay, now I have to do nothing but wait. Sometimes that's also what cooking is about. It's just waiting, preparing yourself for the meal, and then just rush. Which is why cooking when I'm alone is sometimes a bit tedious, because who am I going to watch it with? Who am I going to eat with? But it's better to have already a good foundation for life with someone else. If you don't have the habit to regularly cook, like if you can't manage to cook for yourself, then how would you expect yourself to cook for your wife or your family, or to keep your apartment clean? If you already don't manage on your own to keep your apartment clean, then how would you do it in the presence of others, right? So you have to create a state in your life that works for you, where you manage to keep yourself clean. That's all I'm trying to say. And to me, it matters how it looks here. And that's why I want it to look, at least to me, good. I like the way it looks. I like to cook like this. I like to live like this. Because it makes things interesting. It gives it a different touch, a different vibe, a sense of adventure. But it's also hard to maintain. Right? Because it's so easy to judge this kitchen as weird or should be different. I can make good food here with simple things. And when I want to move out, what do I really have here? These are all small things. I don't have to have like big things. This I can just carry away or get rid of. So I'm not really here for the long haul, I think. I'm going to be here for a while. But what's a while? And what's the transition from here to somewhere else? Right, that has to go into the trash. Sometimes I'm reluctant to get rid of trash. So I just like to be comfortable. I mean, this is like carrying a child. You know, so if you want to be a father, you have to think, is the environment that I live in at the moment and the people that I surround myself with, is this the right mentality for having children? And then the answer is, well, if you're asking the question, probably not. Because if you would have looked, you would have found answers. And since you just started asking the question, there's probably something to learn here. Which is what I'm starting to do. Ask myself, is this a good way to live if there would be a child here? Well, I'm starting to get there. Like seriously starting to get there. So if I'm raising energy to be with my wife and have children, then is having female friends over a distraction from that, and could it actually in fact ruin what I'm trying to build here? Or is it the right thing to do that if a friend contacts you, wants to spend time, you know, is that something you can allow still, or is it going to steal energy away from your dream, right? Because she just wants to come here for selfish reasons, she just wants to have a good time, and you don't just have a good time, right? So when she's there talking about her problems, you know, you're not doing what you would normally do. So how am I supposed to help you if you're dishonest with yourself? You know, you don't want me, right? I mean, we made sure of that. And maybe you already understood the message. But then I may have miscalculated who you were. Because who I met was, you know, sometimes I meet people, they're really different. You know, different, good or worse, but just different. You know, and sometimes I don't know who other people really are. Like seriously don't know it. Which is why I seclude myself from others, because I'm just not sure. And that has nothing really to do, maybe it has to do with not sure of who I am, but I'm certainly not sure who you are, right? Who are you? You know, I just see distortions. And they may be distortions of myself. They may be the people I allow myself to be with because of the way I feel about myself. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, are these the people that are going to help you? People that don't want to move on, that just want to be where they are. And I wanted to move on, but I was stuck being here, trying to be some kind of parent or trying to be some kind of son. And I realized, no. I mean, so I distanced myself from my ideas I have of my parents. And instead of saying, you know, they support their son, I say, on a spiritual level, you're just donating money to the Love Our Children Foundation, which is what I'm trying to advocate or trying to shape itself. This smells really good. You see, so food is one of the things that keeps me busy. And it's one way sometimes it's a really fickle thing. To get the food, off the plate, on the plate, so that you can flip it. You see, now it's charred. It's the effect that I wanted. Because I like charred food. But yeah, at the moment I'm certainly here. And as I do, wife or not, I do have a previous life. And if there are people that want to reach out to me, I think they can. For whatever it's worth. I kind of believe in friendship and all that. You know. And maybe we just have to figure out the nature of our engagement with each other. And then it will turn out to be something completely different than we ever thought it would be. Or, could be better, could be worse, could be like, that's interesting. I never thought we were so wrong for each other. Wow. I'm just trying to be a little bit more reserved with the ingredients that I have, because I started to really respect. I don't just eat all the ketchup in one go. I try to stretch it out. But sometimes I also like to go all out, right? To just say, wow. Let's just use what we have. This is a really simple meal, man. This is like food porn. And now, just to feel a bit healthy about ourselves. And to say, I really did good today. Work first, eat second. I think that's enough. Is that healthy? Does it look healthy? It's got fat. It's got protein. It's got taste for sure, man. Don't get me wrong. It took me a while to get here. To this moment where I can record like this. Having figured out how to put the camera. Having figured out what I wanted to eat. Or that I wanted to eat it. Bon appetit.